It wasn't only the right wing that was frustrated with Joe Biden during his announcement of the change to the federal government's vaccine policy. Here's Jake Tapper.
He took on a scolding tone, talking to the people who are unvaccinated, talking about how people's patience is running out, talking about this mandate. People don't want big government telling them what to do. Now, the difference between now and back then is now the anti-science component of our society is bigger. And it has, there are grifters, there are people who are using this for ratings, for clicks, all sorts of, for votes. And so I haven't yet really seen the Biden administration talk or try to address this. I don't think scolding is the approach. There are these purveyors of misinformation out there, and they're not just on the right. Robert Kennedy Jr. is one of the most notorious ones. And I haven't seen the president or anyone say, look, people, like he's scolding the people that are being lied to as opposed to the liars. You know what I mean?
Okay, so really fast, I have a couple of problems. One, I have a problem with myself. I introed that story saying it's not just the right wing, we also have Jake Tapper. I don't know why I would phrase it that way. But anyway, also, Joe Biden and the administration have tried literally every tactic. They have talked up the vaccine, they've dispatched scientists, they've made everyone available, they've subsidized things. This vaccine mandate, which again is not a mandate, you don't have to get the vaccine, you can just get tested, actually requires your employer to provide days off, paid days off, so that you can get it and so that you can deal with the side effects if you experience any. They'll take one sentence out of a speech and ignore the incredibly slow, gentle, patient approach that the government has had throughout this year. It's just so fake, and he should know better. He's covered every bit of this.
Yeah, so first off, both sides do it. Give me a break. Okay, are there people on the left who are anti-vax? Yes, okay. Are they the same percentage and proportion as the ones that are on the right? Of course not. It's become a culture war issue, and giant portions of Republicans are not taking the vaccine for political reasons, to take one or two outliers from the left and make it seem like, oh, I can't tell who's doing it. It's absurd, it's absurd. He called them anti-science and then talked about the left. So you have to at least give context, but that's the smaller issue. The larger issue here is, can you believe Joe Biden is scolding people? Well, what the hell you want him to do, right? So if you blame him for not controlling the pandemic, right? And that's what they were saying on Fox News. And Jake Tapper loves criticizing Biden. I criticize Biden all the time, but we do it on rational grounds. Hey, here's what he did wrong. Here, let me explain it why. Jake Tapper does it on, well, I criticize Democrats as much as I criticize Republicans. I should get a medal for bipartisanship. That's how mainstream media works. What am I gonna criticize him on? The drone strike that killed all those civilians? No, that's not what we do in corporate media. So I gotta pick a thing. Oh, he was too mean to Republicans. Okay, but my main question to all of you guys, the anti-scolders, or really the scolders squared, because they're scolding us for scolding Republicans, right?
He just scolded Biden.
Yeah, and so that's why I tweeted out earlier in the day, I'm scolding Jake Tapper for scolding Biden on scolding anti-vaxxers. Okay, we got a new show called Scold School. Okay. So now, but my question to you guys, and it's a genuine question, and you could leave comments wherever you're watching this video. What the hell are we supposed to do? They won't listen. Somebody wrote on social media, persuade them. How, brother? I'm serious, how? They don't care about facts, they don't care about science, and they don't believe in reason or logic. So how do you talk to them in a way that they will, because I know what the mainstream media answer is. Kiss Republican voters' asses. Oh, the Republican voters are sacrosanct. They're amazing, wonderful, real Americans. I just can't believe Tucker's lying to them. I mean, they're geniuses, but they've been misled by hucksters, right? Well, if they're such geniuses, I'm not sure they would have been misled so easily, right? And so I have no reverence for them, but I do want to protect their lives and all of our lives. But I'm at a loss. I tried not calling them idiots for like a week and a half, right?
You almost made it.
Yeah, and then it doesn't matter, guys. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're nice to them. It doesn't matter if you're mean to them. It doesn't matter if you say things that are reasonable or things that are unreasonable. It's become part of their identity to be not that bright. Guys, that's really devastating, and everybody in mainstream media is gonna yell at me. But honestly, being anti-science, anti-logic, hence being stupid, has become part of the right-wing identity. And that is a hard thing to uproot. And that is really sad for the country.
Yeah, it's also sad for corporations because people are not going to work and making them their dollars. And so when we look at how the economy was affected, sure, Jeff Bezos made $1 trillion, but that really did shut down a lot of small businesses. It shut down a lot of people and their work. The funny thing to me is I love when these people choose when they get gully. You know, I've watched Jake Tapper. What is it, Jack or Jake? What's this dude's name? Jake Tapper. Scold people before. Like he gets very indignant sometimes. I think, and right now nobody's scolding Republicans. They're scolding people who don't believe in vaccinations. And some of those people are not Republicans. Some of them are Democrats. But the funny thing is that everybody keeps playing this game because everybody wants to be dignified and do all. We just went through collective trauma watching the president of the free world say things that were so, that validated sexual assault, that were racist, that was, violent, misogynistic. They were calling for the assassination of Hillary Clinton. Like, we watched all of this stuff. Joe Biden falls up the stairs and America loses their mind. And it is amazing to me how people who are considered Democrats or liberals are always held to a higher standard. That the fact that you ask people, do you forgive them? Or, it's just crazy to me. And that's why sometimes I don't even want to identify with Democrats and liberals, because in this journey to consider yourself taking the high road, we end up getting punked by people who could care less if we wake up tomorrow. Yeah. And so he can miss me with all of that. I listened to Jake. I've listened to him before. I don't like to watch CNN. I've watched those videos where he goes in and he has his take on somebody, on what he thinks you're doing wrong. Now the president of the United States is talking about a virus that is killing people who look like me and darker on a daily basis at an advanced rate. So we gotta do whatever we gotta do. And if Biden is speaking up on behalf of that for whatever his motivation is, I'm with it, because I am tired of seeing my community being affected the most by this horrible, horrible virus. And mind you, when you listen to these people talk and this is what they decide, where they decide to fight, I would love to see you fight for things that really affect the communities that are being ravished by this virus. I would like to see you fight that hard for the families of Ahmaud Arbery and the Black people who've been killed by law enforcement. This is where your fight is. You're talking about scolding people who don't want to get vaccinated, that come with the worst, the most ridiculous reasons for it. And listen, a lot of people don't trust the government. I get it. I understand you don't trust the government. Black people have a justifiable reason for feeling that way. But don't come to me and telling me that they're trying to install a chip to track you. Like this is what we talked about earlier. So I think it's all hypocritical. I think everything that these people do is for ratings. They do it for likes. They do it for follows, to sell books. They could care less about the American people. And quite honestly, I'm over it.
Yeah, and so look, guys, you're all right about all this. Like, the hypocrisy is unbelievable, because for the last 20 years, conservatives have been calling the left libtards, right? And how many times have they insulted the left in every conceivable way? Did I see Jake Tapper going tut 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 on that? He did on Trump, but when it comes to Republican voters, he thinks that affects his ratings. So he's like, oh, no. And of course, in Washington, being bipartisan and kissing the ass of Republican voters is like the most, they think they're the real Americans. People like Jake Tapper really believe that. They think Democrats and left, they're not real Americans. The real Americans are Republican voters, right? So they can say anything they want about the left, and they never get scolded. And I'm gonna give the last word to Michelle. Didn't she's one of our members, we love doing the show with our members. Michelle wrote in, Didn't Jake Tapper try to scold Bernie during a town hall? That's exactly what happened. You're right, Michelle. But when it comes to scolding Republicans, he's like, how dare Joe Biden do that? Oh my God, I am outraged, and so is everyone in the cocktail party circuit. Okay, got you. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.